Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about North Korea. Were you satisfied with the president's performance in Vietnam, or would you like to have seen a better outcome?
Well, I'd like to see denuclearization, so would the president. But Kim played a silly game, and the president did exactly what had to be done. Clearly, Kim hasn't read the president's book, The Art of the Deal, where he said the first most important rule is never be so vested in a deal that you're not prepared to walk away from the table at any time. That's what the president did in Hanoi, and now the ball is in Kim's court.
A lot of people are not happy with the way he answered the question concerning the student who died, who was released by North Korea, by the government, and he was saying that he took Kim Jong Un at his word. What did you think about that response to that question? Was that something good? Should he have handled that a little differently?
If Donald Trump walked from the White House to the Potomac River and proceeded to walk on water, the left-wing media and the Democrats would say, see, he can't swim.
Well, even Rick Santorum said that was not good.
I don't care what Rick Santorum says, and he's not the president.
So even some Republicans who didn't like the way he answered that question and saying that he shouldn't be taking Kim Jong Un at his word.
You asked me once, I've given you an answer.
Okay. Nigel, before you go in, do you mind if I just ask you about President Trump's foreign policy, if you're satisfied with what you've seen so far?
Well, I think it's very interesting, isn't it? I mean, who would have thought, the whole world painted this president out to be isolationist. America first meant that it wasn't going to be interested in what happened beyond borders. And he walked away in Vietnam from what he thought was a bad deal. And that's to say that I wish our Prime Minister did that. And actually, those missiles aren't going over Japanese airspace. They're not doing nuclear testing. It's a win.
So he's getting a lot of flack for what he said about the the American student who died when he was released from North Korea. Do you think he handled that right, that question, or should he have done something different by saying Kim Jong Un wasn't really responsible and he's taking him at his word?
Well, sometimes in the field of international diplomacy, you say and do things you'd rather not say and do, but there's a bigger prize, and that's peace.
And what would you like to see him do in terms of Syria, because he's pulling out the troops right now? Do you think that was right to withdraw?
Well, we've been in perpetual wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, and everywhere. Overseas military intervention, which is generally us and you together, should not be on a permanent basis. I think he's right.
Do you think ISIS is defeated, or do you think the more work needs to be done in that area?
No, you can't defeat ISIS. You can't defeat ISIS just by clearing one particular sector, one particular battlefield. It's an ideology, and this battle will go on for many, many years.